If you're over 60 and every morning you stand in front of the mirror staring at those same red flaky patches on your arms, neck, and hands that creams just won't fix anymore, you know the quiet ache I'm talking about. You reach for long sleeves even on warm days so no one asks questions. You've stopped hugging your grandkids without thinking twice, or sitting outside with friends because the itch and the self-consciousness steal the joy right out of it. Over the years, you've blamed yourself, wondering if it's your diet, your age, or something you're simply not doing right. And here's what nobody told you. The cream was never going to work. Not because you bought the wrong one, because the problem isn't on your skin at all. While Western doctors and the big companies behind those endless tubes of cream keep profiting as long as you stay uncomfortable, the old Chinese ways my family has followed for centuries have always understood where the real trouble begins. They told you it was just dry skin or age or something you had to live with. The commercials promised quick relief if you just kept applying more lotion. You've carried that wrong story for so long, quietly believing you weren't trying hard enough. But there is a gentle path I'm going to reveal in this video that can bring real calm back to your skin in the next few weeks. The kind of soothing you can actually feel when you run your hand over it again. And what I am about to tell you next is the part the cream companies have never wanted you to understand. The skin is not the problem. The skin is the gate. Picture an old wooden gate at the back of a garden. The gate is the skin. The garden behind it is the gut. For most of your life, the gate has worked quietly, opening and closing the way it should, keeping the outside out and the inside in. But after 60 years of living, the garden behind the gate has slowly grown wild. The soil has thinned. The good plants that used to hold everything in place have died back. And the gate, which was never meant to hold everything by itself, has started to give way. The redness, the flaking, the cracks in the skin, that is the gate splitting because the garden behind it has lost its keepers. This is why the cream cannot reach it. The cream sits on the gate. It paints over the wood. But the wood is splitting from the inside, from the pressure of a garden no one has tended in years. You can paint the gate every day for the rest of your life. The splitting will come back, because the pressure is coming from behind it. What happened in the garden, you may ask? After many decades, the lining of the gut becomes thin in places. Tiny openings appear. Through those openings, things slip into the blood that were never supposed to be there. Bits of food, bits of bacteria, things the body has never seen before. And the body panics. It sends out an alarm, faithful as ever. That alarm has to come out somewhere. It travels through the blood, and it comes out at the weakest gate it can find. For many of you, that gate is the skin on your arms. For others, the neck. For others, the hands. The patches are not random. Where they show up tells me what part of the garden has gone wild. Arms mean the fire has been burning the longest, usually 10 years or more. Neck means the alarm is coming from the upper part of the gut, often tied to what you ate at dinner the night before. Hands mean the body has run out of quiet places to send the alarm, and that is the one I treat with the most urgency. Look down at your own skin right now. Where are your patches? That is your body telling you exactly where the garden needs tending first. This is what no cream can ever fix, because no cream was ever made to walk into the garden behind the gate. And I will tell you this gently, because I have watched it for many years. Every season this is left alone, the garden grows a little wilder, and the gate splits in one more place. By the time most people come to me, they have lost 10 years to this. Some have lost 20. The patches do not announce themselves. They just slowly take more of your skin each year, until one day you realize you have not worn short sleeves in a decade. And there is one person I want to tell you about, because what happened to her is what happens to many. Her name is Margaret. 68 years old, second grade teacher for 31 years in Asheville, North Carolina. And when she walked into my office, she had not worn a short-sleeved shirt in public since 2014. 11 years. Her flower bed by the porch had gone to weeds because the sun on her forearms made the patches burn so badly she would cry in the driveway. 11 years of long sleeves in summer. 11 years of declining beach trips with her sister. That is where she was when she sat down across from me. She had been using prescription creams for 9 years. 9 years. The strong ones, the gentle ones, the ones with cortisone, the ones without. Every one of them quieted the patches for a week, maybe 2, and then the patches came back, sometimes in a new place, sometimes worse than before. I told her what I am telling you. The skin is the gate. The garden is the gut. I gave her 3 things to use together every night. The same 3 things I will give you in a moment. And I asked her to drink something every morning, which I will tell you about after. In about 10 days, the itching at night began to soften. By the 3rd week, the redness on her forearms had started to fade from angry to quiet. By the 6th week, she was sitting on her porch in the late afternoon with her sleeves rolled up, weeding her flower bed again. She told me the skin on the back of her hand felt smooth under her own fingers for the first time since her 60s began. And what I gave her that night cost less than $7 total. 3 things. You already have one of them in your kitchen right now. The second is sitting in your spice rack, probably untouched for years. And the third one is the one Western doctors will never tell you about, because the moment you start using it, you stop needing them. The first is coconut oil. Cold pressed, the kind that is solid and white in the jar, not the clear cooking oil. You need about 1 tablespoon. Coconut oil is made of the same kind of fats your skin is already made of. So when you put it on, the skin does not push it away like it pushes away most creams. The skin pulls it in, the way dry soil pulls in the first rain after a long summer. It goes into the cracks of the gate and fills them. The second is what makes the whole thing work, and it costs about $2. Without it, the coconut oil just sits on top of the skin and does very little. With it, the paste goes 3 layers deep into the gate and starts repairing the wood from the inside. It is turmeric, the bright yellow powder in your spice rack, the one you probably bought for a curry recipe years ago and never used again. Half a teaspoon. Turmeric has been used in old kitchens from China to India for as long as anyone can remember, because it carries something inside it that quiets a body, sounding an alarm. When the alarm in your blood is coming out at the skin, turmeric calms that alarm at the place where it is showing. The third is raw honey, not the honey in the plastic bear from the supermarket. Raw honey, the kind that is thick and a little cloudy and has not been heated. You need about 1 teaspoon. Raw honey carries living things in it that help the broken places on the skin close. It is gentle on the patches, the way a warm hand is gentle on a tired shoulder. Here is how you put them together, and the order matters more than you would think. Get a small bowl, the kind you would eat soup in, drop in your tablespoon of coconut oil. If it has gone hard in the jar, warm it between your palms for 30 seconds, or sit the jar in warm tap water for a minute. Never use the microwave. Heat kills the very thing in the coconut oil that heals the skin, and I have watched people do all of this work for weeks and wonder why nothing was changing, only to find out they had been microwaving the oil the whole time. Once the oil is soft, add the half teaspoon of turmeric. Stir it in until the oil turns a deep yellow. Then add the teaspoon of raw honey. Stir again slowly until the 3 become one paste, the color of sunlight on amber. Before bed, wash the patches with warm water only. No soap on those places at night. Pat them dry, do not rub. Then take a small amount of the paste on your fingers and spread it gently over the patches. A thin layer, not a heavy one. Let it sit for 15 minutes. You will feel a soft warmth. That is the turmeric working. After 15 minutes, take a damp cloth and wipe off most of it, leaving just a thin shine on the skin. Then go to bed. Do this every night for at least 3 weeks. The first week, the itching at night quiets down, and most people tell me they sleep through for the first time in years. The second week, the redness softens at the edges, like the patches are pulling back into themselves. By the third week, the cracks begin to close. But there is something that happens in the fourth week that almost everyone misses, and if you miss it, the patches will come back within 6 months. I will tell you what to watch for in a moment. What the people who have done this tell me afterward is something I think you should hear. One woman called me 3 weeks in and could barely speak. She had run her hand up her own forearm in the shower, and for the first time since 2009, she did not feel that familiar rough patch under her fingertips. She just felt skin. Her own skin? She told me she stood in the shower and cried for 20 minutes. Another said the patch on the inside of her elbow, which she had carried for 15 years, was simply gone one morning, and she did not notice until her daughter pointed it out. A man told me he had forgotten what it felt like to put his hand on his own arm and not feel a rough patch waiting there. These are the small returns. This is what the gate looks like when it stops splitting. But if you stop the video here, the patches will come back. Maybe not this month, maybe not this summer, but within a year they will return in a new place, sometimes worse than before, because the paste quiets the gate, but it does not tend the garden. And there is one drink taken every morning that finishes the work the paste started. It is the difference between people who get clear skin for 3 months and people who keep it for the rest of their lives. Stay with me for the next 90 seconds. This is the part that changes everything. Here is what I have seen in over 30 years of watching this same pattern. The skin is not where the problem starts. It is where the problem ends. By the time you see a patch on your arm, the trouble has already been in your body for years. There is a small fire burning inside the lining of your gut. Quiet. You cannot feel it. But it has been burning since your 40s, maybe your 50s, and the skin is the chimney. The gut needs 3 things to settle that fire. It needs good living bacteria, the kind that used to live there when you were young and slowly faded away. It needs the gentle fibers those bacteria feed on, and it needs the soft healing compounds those bacteria make when they are fed properly. When the gut has all 3, the fire begins to settle. When the fire settles, the alarm to the skin grows quiet. And when the alarm grows quiet, the patches stop returning the way they have been. There is one simple drink in my tradition that has carried all 3 of these things together for as long as anyone in my family remembers. It is kombucha. The people I give it to, alongside the paste, are the ones whose skin stays clear the longest, not for weeks, but for years. I make my own kombucha at home because I have the time and the knowledge. But for everyone watching online who can't brew their own, I give BoochBod Kombucha Gummies. The link is in the description, or you can search BoochBod Kombucha Gummies on Amazon. A few months after Margaret started, she called me. She said the patches on her forearms had not returned, not even when the weather changed. She said her skin felt soft when she washed her face in the morning, soft in a way she had forgotten was possible at her age. She said her daughter had stopped asking her if she was okay when she rolled up her sleeves. These were the small things she noticed, and she said them slowly, the way people speak when something has actually changed. Picture Margaret again, 68 years old, sitting on her front porch outside of Asheville in the late afternoon, sleeves rolled up to her elbows, weeding the flower bed she had stopped tending for so long. The same road is open to you. The same gate can quiet. The same garden can be tended again. And I want you to hear me on this. It is never too late. The body at 70, at 75, at 80 still knows how to do this work. It has been waiting all these years to be given what it needs. It does not forget. It only waits. If something in this video reached you, do one thing for me before you close this tab. Leave a comment below with just 2 words. Your age and where your patches are. Arms, neck, hands. That is how I know who is watching, and that is how I know which video to make for you next week. Margaret found her porch again at 68. Your porch is waiting too.